My name is Rhapsody and welcome to Death's Door. Death's Door is the next release from Acid Nerve, previously the developers behind Titan Souls. Titan Souls was very much a kind of top-down isometric, almost Shadow of the Colossus feeling kind of game. I did cover it on the channel before. And I'm excited to cover their next game here, Death's Door, which does share that kind of top-down perspective, but the influences seem to have swung wildly in different directions. Instead, we are more influenced here by Dark Souls and Zelda and games of that kind of ilk. It's going to be a hell of a good time to get on into it. At the very start here, I'm going to go to the options menu and show you that I've got the screen shake shut down to about 40%. I'll turn it down lower if it is required for accessibility of the audience. And there is a fairly comprehensive section here in the options, just for those of you who are looking for kind of purchasing advice and to whom that matters quite deeply. Let's set ourselves up with a new save file and go on in. Sharon the bus driver.
Now arriving at Reaping Commission headquarters. Head of the line.
And that's us! I do love, and it does maintain this between Titan Souls, which I'll link the playlist for my Titan Souls playthrough as well in the description down below. Something that this game shares with Titan Souls is this tiny character in a gigantic world that seems like it is made for everything much larger than yourself. A very kind of almost ensmallening vibe. If embiggen is a cromulent word, then surely ensmallening must be as well. We actually have another living character here as well. What's up? Badger the Reaper. Better get moving, don't want to be late, right? I'd rather not be. To meet Chandler the Handler. Well, well, well. Look who showed up for work. No worms for you? Because only the early bird can... Never mind. Anyway, it's your lucky day. I actually have a soul for you to reap. And not just any soul, a giant soul. Think of the commission on that. I hope you haven't forgotten your training. Stand your talons. Giant souls don't go peacefully. Dropping in for your door right now. Dropping in your door for you right now, rather, sorry. With a soul that size, you might even be able to afford some time off. But remember, your door will remain open until you return with your designated soul. While your door is open, you will be mortal and you will age, so get it done quickly. Reaping souls to power the doors just so we can reap more souls and the cycle repeats. Forever. The rat race there. Anyway, get to it and be careful. If you die, it's gonna be a lot of paperwork and I just don't have the time. Yeah, look, your desk is absolutely filled with paperwork. I don't think you'd be able to fit it in your busy schedule of berating newbies. So we can see here already other areas that seem like they may, in the future, feature doors, what with especially the background having featured so very many of them. Feels like this is a kind of hub world to which we will return often. The Grove of Spirits is the assigned soul location. Definitely looking like a tutorial here. Tap X to roll. We'll continue doing so. I mean, look, that's kind of like something I do in almost every top-down game these days. Although I will admit that where we are about to go, I have already been in a little bit of time I spent testing the game on my side to make sure that this is something that I wanted to play on the channel. Hold L2 to aim and circle to charge your weapon. I'll get some ammo back there as well. You can see that the little white diamonds up in the top left corner represent ammunition for my bow. If I fire all of them, I no longer have the ability to throw out another shot. And so I'm gonna just quickly go back here and strike a couple of those bad boys. Those mushrooms, not really enemies, but they allow you to refresh your shots so that you can kind of complete puzzles. Demonic Forest Spirit. Something that I feel is going to look very, very familiar to a lot of the people who played Titan Souls prior to playing this game. Of course, the forested area in Titan Souls having a non-Euclidean map that you must get through in order to find a boss that looks relatively, and plays, in fact, relatively similar to this one. Okay, let me just get some long shots in here. Excuse me. Nope, excuse me. Out of the way of that one as well. Perfect. We did it! We have claimed our first giant soul. Or have we? It seems not everyone agrees that that should have been ours. Let's go take it up with them. As you can see, like, I imagine the things on screen are already giving off the kind of, like, you know, a broken, desolate world that you're exploring. That feels pretty Dark Souls. Fighting a boss that has its own kind of... Well, actually, not all of the Dark Souls bosses have their own introduction screen in that kind of a fashion. We can also see... You stole our junk, and now you have the goddamn audacity to appear on my screen. Just out of reach. Gives us a little bit of directionality where we're going to want to approach, but for the moment, let's just enter this building and see if we can find enough of the world to get us in that direction. Pick up. You've collected a life seed. Planting one of these in a green pot will yield soul fruit, which can be consumed to restore your health. A little early tip here. That soul fruit will not just restore one health, it will restore all missing health. It's a unique kind of twist on your old, you know, Estus, Soul Gem, you know, grass kind of formula. I like it. It kind of has like the, it has the, so one of the benefits of the Estus system is that it gave the developers a lot of influence over when you would and when you likely would not have access to much healing. So they had the ability to put, you know, gauntlets ahead of you such that you would run out of Estus, and then at the end of that gauntlet, a special challenge, right? This maintains from that system, the Estus system, the kind of rigidity of the positions where you can actually heal. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Because a lot of the critiques of Dark Souls 2 were along the lines of life gems kind of take that balance away. And despite, you know, the fact that I will stand for H-Bomber Guy in many different ways, I did not feel that was a defensible part of Dark Souls 2. I think Dark Souls 2 did some good things. I don't necessarily think that was one of them. And these being, you know, far from life gems and much closer to a kind of restricted Estus is, at the very least, deeply intriguing. I'll take this key. Make our way on up here. We've also already seen something that was locked. Ah! You collected a massive soul energy. Soul energy can be spent in the Hall of Doors on Reaper upgrades. Also enjoying the meta-narrative of us kind of just being a Reaper who comes here to claim desolate souls from this desolate land. Honestly, that would actually make like a bunch of sense as a kind of setup for a Dark Souls narrative. Although they've always gone instead with more of a chosen undead kind of situation. Although I guess you are kind of a Reaper in the situations where so many people have set you up. You're about to roll. Get out of the way of that. You're a kind of Reaper in the situations where, like, especially in Dark Souls 3, you're definitely a kind of Reaper where they're saying, hey, there's all these, like, King Souls that you absolutely have to go and beat them up. Like, there's nothing that can be done about it except for beating them up. Reaper in all but name. Whoa, okay. Out of the way of that one. Also, I just always love a good roll system. Oh man, it feels good to push your luck and then roll out of the way in the very last second. Beautiful. First gauntlet down. The graveyard's out in this direction. Also seems like that's actually going to broach a larger area. Let's see if there's a dead end down here. There is indeed. Although, this platform intrigues. Definitely seems like some Metroidvania elements in here as well, possibly. Maybe I'll get an ability that allows me to leap from platforms like that in order to get to the next level. Who knows? Who knows? What I know at the moment is we've Steedhone, the Gravedigger.
Ah, a Reaper. My time in this world is over. Unfortunately, I am still alive. Sorry. Maybe if you try hitting me with a harder attack?
Hold R2 to charge an attack.
No. Still here and still very much alive. Perhaps a bit of a run-up.
Roll with X and then press R2 while rolling. Oh, that's kind of like a top overhead slash.
I'm sorry, it's not your fault. It happens to everyone. I'm afraid I'm burdened with unending life. I can't explain it, and I've spent untold years seeking an answer. My name is Steedhone, and I am the keeper of graves on this sacred mountain. Oh, and if you do find yourself strengthened somehow, feel free to try and kill me again.
I like that kind of jovial attitude towards it. That kind of like, yeah, I mean, look, it's been my time for a while. Come on, strike me down. It's like it's almost Obi-Wan in the prequels, you know, strike me down, except without the "and I shall return more powerful than you could ever imagine" kind of situation. It's instead, strike me down and I will not return. I will die. And thank heck, it's been so long. I'm cursed with unending life. Here lies a guardian of the door, a preserver of order, and home to stray souls. Those spires? Okay. A guardian of the door. In the spires? So we can definitely see the Dark Souls influences I was in the midst of mentioning. Where's the Zelda influence, eh? You said there was Zoldo in here. Well, look at this secret little area. Then I'm gonna go up here. I'm assuming this is gonna be kind of Zoldo in form, as in this specific area. Yeah, there we go. And find a little collectible hidden in a different area. Love it. I haven't seen necessarily this area. I've seen one more thing in this game, and I think it's not too much of a spoiler to say there are puzzles, and Dark Souls ain't got that many puzzles. Lending back into the kind of Zelda feel. However, I will also say the Dark Souls itself was also inspired by Zelda in many ways, so, you know. Is this from Blues or is it from Rock? Effectively, is the question that's being asked when you ask, like, is this from Dark Souls or Zelda in this circumstance? I'll invoke the names of other games such as Dark Souls and Zelda a little less going onwards. I just thought they may be the most evocative ones to bring to mind the kinds of things that this game seems to be meditating upon and intending to explore with its mechanic set in spec.
This simple structure has a twin. A hidden secret lies within.
Okay, I need to keep an eye out for one of those bad boys. Looking like a potato crisp spread out on a stick. You ever see those at a camp? A camp? A fair? A fete? A carnival, perhaps? They're the kind of treat that you see at a carnival that every single time you see it, you're like, ooh, that seems nice and fun and friendly. I'm gonna have that. Ooh, what a lovely treat for me. Also, this appears to be where the other bird was going. Ooh, what a lovely treat for me. I can't wait to dig into it. And then as soon as you have your first bite, you're like, oh, I understand why this is not part of more people's natural diet. This is... this is so sweet and or salty. Unbelievably so. Hang on. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll take my secret, thank you. Pray at shrine. I really like the perspective altering in this game.
The ancient shrine offers you a shard from a vitality crystal. Collecting 4 will raise your vitality beyond its limits.
Alright, that's got to be gain an extra health in the old bar up there. Good to see. Let's also bring up the item screen just to give you a little bit of a taste of what's going on here. So there are 3 giant soul slots, 1 out of 4 crystal shards, and 1 out of 4 whatever the other shard happens to be. Actually, is it going to show me? Magic crystal shards. So they will fill our soul with power, raising our magical capacity. We can also see we have 1 of 5 weapons at the moment. The first is the Reaper's Sword that we have unlocked at the moment. Has damaged mind times 1, swings times 3, representing the combo that it can do. And then range and swing time, obviously, just on their stats there. Shiny things, controller bindings, and then options afterwards. Gives us a little bit of the idea of the kinds of things that the game is going to throw at us, which is new weapons, upgrades for those weapons, magic, apparently. Come on, take your roll, thank you. Whoop. Would really kill to have a 4-strike there. So it's a full 3-strike to put them on the ground. In fact, most of the enemies I'm fighting at the moment take a full 3-strike. So if I had a 4th strike, I would be able to make a couple more mistakes and still bail out of them. As long as we just dodge wide on those shots, we will be absolutely A-okay. I'll take another life seed. Is that a dead end, or is this a dead end? We're getting experience in this... Oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely the dead end over here. We're getting experience in this, something that I do every single time I play a game that has any kind of adventure element. Secret? No. And that is, you look for the path that does terminate, so that you can go down that path first, get whatever secrets happen to lie there, get whatever treasures happen to lie there, and then bail back out and go for the actual path that has actual progression. What I'm trying to do, almost, is find the terminating parts of this flowchart of a map and visit them first before I go back and actually go to where the flowchart flows. Okay, so it's 3 full shots to take out an enemy that would otherwise take me 3 strikes from the Reaper as well. Does that mean that my Reaper is doing the same damage as my sword? And if so, the Reaper doing the, sorry, the arrow is doing the same damage as the sword, rather. Huh? Okay. We got a teleporter. So that round was kind of just there, it seems, to refill my ammo so that I can strike these bad boys from afar. That's super cool. The way that the game introduced 2 waves next to one another taught me that I should interact with one of those waves in a very specific way. I mean, obviously there are a lot of other things saying that, hey, maybe you want to use range on these magicians. What with the whole, they teleport away from you and fly. But it's an interesting example of, I don't know if anyone had very recently watched the H-Bomber Guy video, Why Bloodborne is Genius, oh, sorry, Bloodborne is Genius and Here's Why. But it's an interesting example of play conditioning. Which is to say, the way in which a game... you can make them roll off, that's so cool. The way in which a game introduces its mechanics, conditioning the player to interact with them in a certain fashion. Whoa! Okay, yeah, that... I cannot manage 2 enemies at the same time. That is not in our wheelhouse. In games like this, you tend to take all of your damage in sequence, which is making me feel like maybe I want to go and bury one of these life seeds. Let me go find a pot. Oh, there we are. I'll take a full heal, thank you. Just need to be a little bit more careful when I'm fighting 2 enemies at the same time, up in close. That is actually something that's also really interesting that I figured out in the very first fight, the first time that I was trying it off camera. And that is because you only have 4 arrows, and then you have to refresh those by striking enemies up close and personal. The game very much forces you to have that dynamic playstyle, and that was one of my favorite things about Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal had very, very low ammunition limits for all of your different weapons, so in contrast to other Doom games as well as Doom 2016, including Doom 2016 rather, you were really, really heavily incentivized to consistently change your weapon set. It's also worth noting it had more enemies that you had to hard counter with a very specific weapon, or that hard countered a very specific weapon, and I didn't necessarily love that bit, but the ammo restriction forcing you to swap your weapons consistently was actually one of the things that I really liked about that game. Whoop! Boss arena, boss arena, boss arena! Okay. Guardian of the Door. Whoa. Okay, so I can tell from the boss's design you're probably quite slow. You look like you have a lot of swing around your own feet kind of abilities. I should probably be taking my pot shots from afar when they're available. Oh. Got a flight mechanic, and it looks like you're... Oh, hey, yo, yo, yo. I've played enough video games in my life. I know what's about to happen here. That looks beautiful. By the way, I didn't mention it in the intro, but this is published by Devolver Digital. I know a lot of people, including myself, use their publication of a game as a kind of stamp of quality. I don't know if I've ever been misled by using that. Obviously, I have had, at points in my life, a professional relationship with Devolver Digital as well. So I will disclose that bias despite the fact that I'm not being paid at all to play this game. I did get it for free. Although again, on the other side, I will note, I bought and played Titan Souls, the previous game from this developer, entirely of my own accord because it just looked deeply interesting to me. So I already had an eye on this game when I happened to get a code for it. Whoa! Okay, 2 barrages at the same time, just loopy-loopy-loop. Nope. I like the health bar system of the bosses here. It's just shown to you by their corruption. I'm calling it corruption. It's that kind of glowing effect that is erupting from them. Oh. Okay, I would have sworn you were a lot further from dying than you ended up being there. Give me the soul, give me the soul, give me the soul. Pourquoi? Excuse me? I'm pretty sure I'm owed a soul for all the reaping I did there. Is it because I did the reaping happily rather than grimly? I can do it again. I can be gruff about it.
Oh, this enemy's here and I'm gonna give him the old what for, eh?
Excuse me? The text box cut in half because I cut the sign in half. I'm gonna go through... Oh, come on. I was certain that was gonna be a secret. It looked like it was leading into a little hole in the mountains. Let's out this way. This way to the overgrown ruins. I'll just take my clear ascension. Ah, this is the other side of the dead end we found prior. I can see a little nubbin of a ladder there. Okay, so then what's the seal on the ground? This has got to let that ladder down, right? Yep. So if it's not an ability that gets... This seal looks like it's intentional. It looks like there's a reason for it to be there. Although, unlocking little passages, such as we've done it 2 times now, not just here, but we also did it before crossing the bridge and even getting to the Guardian. Unlocking little passages that take you back to prior parts of the world, baby, that feels very Dark Souls 1, don't it just? In fact, wait, okay. Well, there's no ladder on that one. So that seal has to be the way you access that, right? Unless there's like a flight ability as well. I don't know how Metroidvania it's going to be, is the thing. So I can't really make estimations around it. This wants me to give it a key to get a key. And then that's... Wait a second. Wait just a second. That looks like an item right there. What are you? You found some incense. This stuff smells very strong. Is that like repel? Is that just gonna keep things away from me? An incense used in ancient rituals to aid the dead in their passage to the next life and to mask the stench of corpses in the embalming process. The label on the side reads,
Incense of Atonement. Perfect for masking that rotting corpse smell.
That could easily just be an errant artifact in the world that kind of is a collectible that fills out a little bit of the world information for you. I'm gonna be jazzed about getting each and every one of those when they're on offer. Hey, give me my soul. Hey, that's mine. How dare you? Grey Crow.
Oh, hello, fledgling. Sorry about the crack on the head, but I needed that soul. You see, I was a Reaper, just like you. Years ago, my assignment evaded capture. It took many months to track it down to this location. Upon arrival, I discovered it had somehow passed through this door. Inconceivable. Do you know where we are, fledgling? Looks like we're at the end of the undead asylum. Oh no, we're at death's door, apparently. The end point for all life. I thought it was just a legend. As you know, all doors are powered by the energy of souls. Perhaps with a truly monumental amount of power. Even this one could be forced open. Sadly, the soul I stole from you was not enough. I'm afraid that our fates are very much intertwined now, fledgling. For with your assignment incomplete, your death is now an inevitability. Without the soul that now resides behind this door, you're trapped, just like me. However, fortune may still smile upon us. This cursed land is hidden to the Reapers, somehow untouched by the laws of nature. The creatures here have the potential to live vastly beyond their years, growing ever larger and more powerful. I know of 3 such beings on these isles whose combined soul energy could grant us the power to wedge this door open. Why am I trusting you? You just failed to open it with the soul you stole from me. Somehow I feel like I'm getting duped and then you're using that dupe against me to dupe me again. To the north lives an old witch, obsessed with escaping the clutches of death. Beyond the forest to the east, a self-proclaimed king rules over the ruins of a flooded cathedral. Damn, we're feeling very Dark Souls, aren't we? And atop the mountain to the west, a beast of untold years, primal and vicious, with no want or desire. I am truly sorry for having entangled you, fledgling, but in my advanced years, my body grows weary. Your path is your own now. Either venture into the wilds and reap those giant souls, or choose inaction and suffer the same fate as this old fool. If you already had given up, why did you doom me? Do you wish for guidance on where to head next? I suggest you head north. There lives an old witch, obsessed with escaping death. I mean, look, a giant crow, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Escarpment? No. The thing upon which I'm standing, it's like an embankment, but not an embankment because it's not into the sea or the land. It's into the sky. It's like a ledge or a cliff, I guess. A peninsula, a cantilever suggestion at the top of this mountain, topped with a crow. I mean, come on, man. I'm feeling like some very self-aware Dark Souls references are being made here. That is now unlocked. It was story gated, it appears. I'll take the advice that's given to me and start heading north, though. Seems appropriate. Push lever to access a previous area again. Do I know where this is going back to? Is that... I mean, look, I can climb back up, right? Oh, okay, yeah, this is just going back to Steedhorn. Had I explored this area? Yeah, because that's where we got you know, there was a life seed at the end of that, if I recall correctly. Which seemed to also be a limited resource. It doesn't seem like any of those are respawning. I wonder if the pot that I planted the life seed in respawns a tree after a short amount of time, or even a long amount of time, and then you can use that to heal again. I'd be intrigued to find out. Okay. Spooky crypt. Got it. I'm kind of expecting one of the... Wait. Ah, okay, so it does respect height. That's interesting. Whoa! And we've got enemies that are set up very specifically to be able to dodge our attacks. Good. Okay, we'll push this lever here. It was respecting height. That is to say, I couldn't fire an arrow from the bottom of the stairs and hit someone at the top. Just nice to see that, because sometimes, especially in games with this isometric perspective, certain depth calculations can be a little wonky and a little bit difficult. And sometimes they don't necessarily function how you would expect that they might. Hang on, one of those is lit up there and one of those isn't. A large amount of me wants to try and find out how to light the one that isn't lit. I'll turn back to that in the future. I imagine I will have time. Okay, so that does refresh at the... Wait, does a box also do it? Okay, so these are resources for refreshing my arrows by striking them. I don't know if they'll ever contain anything. It doesn't seem like there's going to be many consumables in this game. It very much seems like everything is going to be a one and done kind of situation. Sorry, renewable consumables are the kinds of things I'm talking about, which are the kinds of things you probably find in pots like that. Can walk through the bushes. What is this? Ratchet and Clank? I still can't believe that. I don't know. It's possible you may not be familiar with what I'm talking about here, so I will just mention it. There were people complaining on the release of... what was it? A Rift in Time? A Rift in Time? A Rift in Space? A Rift Apart. That's what it's called. There were people complaining online, or I say people, there was one person who was heavily retweeted who was complaining about it, saying that because the plants don't respond to your actions by walking through them, there are some plants that you just walk through and you kind of just straight up clip through them. That is an example why Insomniac never has been and never will be a AAA developer, and just getting really, really riled up about it. It's like, a studio managed to ship a AAA game, a continuation of a very, very iconic series for that console without crunching. And it's by and large thought of as quite good, even by long-term fans of the genre. And the complaint is about the fact, what? That's so... That is the kind of complaint that it feels like you can only really have if you were looking for things to complain about, you know? I feel like the internet at large in my 27 years of being on this earth have taught me to recognize an argument that is being made exclusively for the argument's sake. Also, I used to do it myself. Whoa, okay, hang on. See the little coloration of the ground, implying there's a path down here? Love it. I mean, yeah, I used to make arguments like that myself as well, and then I turned 18. The joke there is usually like I used to make arguments like that myself, and then I turned 12, but it took me a while. Okay, this is definitely some sort of implied Metroidvania. Like, that... This thing is going to be something I anchor like a thing to, like a rope or something, and then cast across the other. It's got to be. Calling my shot early on that one. So because my Metroidvania sense is tingling, that means now, anytime I see something that looks like it can be activated by some sort of future ability, I kind of have to mentally log that location so that I know when I get a certain ability where I can go to just pick up a giant amount of resources that I'd previously seen but not been able to approach. Whoa! Can you see what I can? So the hedges have a break up in that top left of the screen right now where it's just ferns. And then you can walk through the ferns, as we saw prior, so you'll have the ability to access that side and go up. I'm going to activate this little bad boy here, though. The Estate of the Urn Witch. Darwin the Vault Keeper.
Little crow, do I sense a glut of soul energy? Come here, and you can trade in those souls to gain an edge in combat.
Okay. I'll do that. I mean, I'm a crow. I probably don't really make that sound. I'm no ornithologist. I'm not going to be able to do your sounds for you on the crows.
Welcome to Soul Vault. Would you like to increase your combat abilities?
Okay, so it costs 400. For each of these, we have Strength. The Reaper's ability to wield melee weapons. Raising this will increase the damage done with melee weapons as well as their reach. Dexterity. The Reaper's ability to attack with speed and precision. Raising this will allow the Reaper to charge their melee and ranged attacks faster and increases the speed at which melee attacks can be chained together. There's also Haste. The Reaper's speed and grace of movement. Raising this will give the Reaper a greater base speed, faster dodges, and less cooldown between dodges. Oh, adaptability? Adaptability? And magic. The Reaper's ability to harness magical powers. Raising this will increase the damage done with magical spells and ranged abilities. You know what's annoying? All of these seem good. I can see why you would want to level each of these. That's not annoying bad, it's annoying good. In like, a lot of times when you play a game of this ilk, of this style, honestly, like anything that has an RPG progression system that allows you to level up, right? There's usually like a couple options you can look at and go, you know what, that's going to be my dump stat. I don't want any of that. But magic is tied to ranged abilities as well as magic that I haven't even seen yet. Haste is tied to greater base speed. A greater base speed allows you to reposition without having to roll, and yet it also gives you faster dodges and less cooldown time between those dodges. Gonna be a key mechanic. I'm probably actually gonna level that one up first. Dex. Increasing the speed at which you can chain them together makes it a lot easier to get in close, take a couple hits, and then get out. Allows you, it's like the difference between using a heavy weapon that you'll attack with once in a fight versus a faster weapon that you'll attack with multiple times. And then strength, increasing the damage you do as well as your reach. I'm going haste. Yeah. Gimme. Wait, what's the next cost as well? Did it up by 200? It did up by 200. Okay, so it's up to 600 now. I almost... Ooh, looks like there's a collectible item down there. But it's gated off by some sort of thing that I'm not going to be able to access yet. See those stones? They glowed a couple seconds ago. And they're glowing again now. That's clearly, again, another meta progression, Metroidvania kind of thing. Not meta progression, I meant Metroidvania kind of thing that is gating us off from going back there. Maybe I should explore more of this overworld, though. Because if there are things in the overworld, ahaha. You found a discarded umbrella. It's just the thing to keep your feathers dry in grim weather. You can equip it from the weapons menu. This is, excuse me? An umbrella is probably not very useful in combat, but it will keep your feathers dry in bad weather. So it's got lower damage, it's got the same amount of swings, same amount of rage and same amount of swing time. So maybe this is just like the soup ladle, right? It's the challenge weapon. It's also entirely possible that it is something that is just going to be relevant in a very specific area of the game. In fact, definitely feels that way. You can hear in my voice at the moment and in my almost plodding around this urn that I am leading into the wrap-up here for the first episode. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Death's Door. There will be a playlist in the description down below for all of my gameplay past of Titan Souls, as well as my gameplay present and future of Death's Door. In fact, you can also find that playlist currently in the screen up on the top left and a YouTube recommendation directly below it. Thank you very much to those of you supporting the Republic over on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays at or above the $10 tier. The credits of y'all scrolling past on the screen at the moment. I'd like to say a special thanks to Pygood. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves and hopefully we'll see y'all next time.